Once again, everybody, welcome back to the Bring the Bars podcast. I'm your host, KC, and tonight we have a man with great talent, KronOz. Check out all his music either on YouTube or Spotify under the name KronOz, KRONOZ. And thank you for everyone that's tuning in. If you're listening on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you're listening on Freedom K Radio or Podbean, just type Bring the Bars podcast, all one word, on YouTube. Check out episodes you may have missed and subscribe while you're there to support what we're doing. And what we're doing is giving the spotlight to great underground hip-hop talent to take hip-hop back to when it was about bars and a message. Before we get to my guest this time, I want to announce that my episode 1 guest, JP the Pump Affiliate, has his album War ready, dropping September 13th. So everybody stay tuned for that. He's a great artist, and I can guarantee you won't be disappointed. Now, let's get to this interview with KronOz. Well, man, welcome to the first afternoon episode of the Bring the Bars podcast. I would like to thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yes, sir. I appreciate you having me.
And to start these off, I just like having the guests introduce themselves, let everybody know who you are, where to find you, and what your music represents.
Okay, well, my name is KronOz. I actually just started making music and writing it down, writing and recording back in March 27th. My buddy, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Trouble Oak. He's the one that kind of got me put into it. He has his own little label, Money Side Musica, and he kind of got me into it. I mean, me and him have been close friends for about 6 years now. Always in the studio hanging out. Like I work over there in Hobbs, New Mexico a lot. I live in West Texas, Odessa, Texas, the home of Friday Night Lights. If you've ever seen that movie or any of the shows and whatnot, it's about Ratliff Stadium is about 3 miles from my house over here, so it's just right down the street. But it all kind of started that way, man. I mean, we started March 27th. I was in the gym one day, and I kind of grew up being real competitive, a lot of different sports, MMA, football, wrestling, basketball, motocross, a little bit of everything, man. And I was just in the gym one day and I've been a fan of hip hop since I was about 9-10 years old. I got that Bone Thugs Eternal 1999 cassette tape and started sneaking into. Oh man, it got me hooked right away. Because I mean, it was like my parents hated hip hop growing up, so it was like I snuck in there and got an edited version of the Bone Thugs tape and sat in there and laid down in a back room at my grandma's house and listened to it kind of low for a little while and went from there. But I've always been a huge fan of hip hop, and it's been a huge inspiration on my life. I've been stuck on it for 20 plus years and kind of explored a lot of different outlets with it. And I was like, you know what, I want to go ahead and give it a spin, man. See if I can put stuff on wax, get on there and see if I can do it myself. And since then, man, I've recorded a double album, Father Time. I'm going to drop it next month in October, and recorded 23 songs with a lot of really cool connections, local and nationwide, really just a lot of different features and collaborations I worked with, and luckily to have a lot of people that helped me get into it, and it's progressing day by day, and I think I'm getting pretty good.
Well, I'm glad you hopped on, man, because I checked out quite a few of your songs and none of them have disappointed me, so you're doing a great job with it.
I appreciate it, man. That means a lot.
You said you started March 27th with recording. Did you write before that? Like, have you been writing for years, just never got to recording? Or you just really now just put your focus on all of it and just said, I'm going to do this?
Honestly, man, that was the first time I ever wrote anything down. It was March 27th, 2020.
Oh, wow. Do you remember what song that was?
Well, the funny thing is it was a song that I never even recorded, because I didn't know what I was doing at that time. I was in the studio, not in the studio. I was in the gym listening to some Wu-Tang Clan and actually some Ace Flow and some strange music and different stuff, and just kind of writing stuff down as it came to my head. I didn't even know where to start at as far as actually creating. So, yeah. But it ended up kind of molding a little bit of a theme from that to a song that my buddy Trouble Oak made the beat. He actually put a verse on it for me as well. And then I put 2 verses and the hook on myself, and it's called Transparency. It's going to be on the present part of my double disc.
When is that supposed to drop, your Father Time double disc album?
I'm shooting for, I think I'm going to get the physical copies out for like a pre-sale to the people that really, really want to hear it off the bat. I'm going to do that early October, and then I'm going to drop both of them on Halloween.
Perfect. Can't wait to hear them all, man.
I appreciate it, man.
You go by KronOz. What made you come up with that name? And did you have different names you were thinking of before that, or you just got that one right away and went with it?
Well, I had to do, different things, and I just wanted to make sure whatever I did, it wasn't little something, little like
Yeah,
little little cup or little freestyle or whatever. Just
little
different things
crone.
that people put out there. Yeah, little chrome. But what inspired me? A lot of the concepts that I base in my life on everything is really like time's a huge influence. Because time's one of the only commodities you can never get back, and it's. I've got different tattoos. I've actually got KronOz, the father of time, the god of time, and the Greek
Yeah.
mythology tattooed on my back.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like you said, you live it once, right? Don't get your time back. Well, and do the best you can with it. Have fun with it, and you set your mind to something. Go out there and just do it.
Yes, sir, no doubt. And you got to use your time wisely because you never know when it runs out, too, man. That's a big thing. Especially now having kids and everything. That's kind of something I think about, man. Is just how do I want to spend my time? Do I want to make my time meaningful or not?
Yeah, a lot of people actually, including myself, I think everybody I interviewed on this has been a family man, and they all have their separate lives that grind every day. What was their thought when you decided, like, I want to start recording, since it wasn't really even that long ago?
Well, you know what? I'm sure that because the studio I record in is about an hour and a half away from me. So
Yeah,
I've got two. I record at with Trouble Oak at his studio, and then I got another good buddy, Trackzilla, DJ A Track. He's created a few beats for me, and I go to his Big Bang studio as well. They're both. They've been doing it 20+ years. But yeah, my family, they kind of. That actually support me a lot. My son, ever since he's been born, he's about 2.5 years old now. He loves all kind of music. He's been, exposed to it all because I listen to a lot of different things, and he loves whenever I come home, turn the music on because I listen to music whether I'm grilling, whether I'm training, whether I'm driving down the road. I'm always listening to something, and it's never
yeah,
the same
music's a big part
genre.
of the daily life for sure.
Yeah, so they've been a huge support. My fiance, she loves she'll give me some good constructive criticism, and yeah, but she really enjoys seeing the creative side of it, and she supports me 100%.
Is she always the first one that gets exclusive listen of the new track?
Oh yeah, for sure. She sees me. Spending hours and hours going over my verse before I make the. Because I try to, since it's a little bit of a 3-4 hour round trip for the studio time. I try to record 3 to 5 songs in a day. Every session that I go over there, man, I try to make sure I'm on point, make sure I'm crisping in my flow every single time, and going over the same bars over and over again, 10, 20, maybe even 100 times before I get in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same with my fiance. She's the first one who hears everything new, and I tell her to tell me her honest opinion, and she gets exclusive listen, or else I get in trouble. So,
Hear that?
so you have a collaboration in the works with actually my first guest on the show ever, JP the Pompilian. Can you give us any exclusive details on this track, release date, or topic, or what's the process going on with that one?
Well, yeah, it is kind of cool because whenever I ran into you and to JP, I started listening to all the podcasts and made some cool connections on here on BringTheBars, and that's he was one of the first ones to hit me up. Man, we kind of had a good vibe, just kind of corresponding,
He's
kind
a
of
great guy.
musically, and oh yeah, that's what I picked up from him so far, man. I've really enjoyed some conversations we had discussing music. Seems real humble, real good guy. So it kind of just clicked. He's like, he just hit me up one day. Took my family to the river, and he hit me up and was like, "Hey man," he's like, "I got this beat. Yeah, I got these 2 beats right here." And he's like, "I'd love for you to jump on one of them." I was like, "You know what? I'd be honored myself. So let me know." And I've dealt with a lot of people that I've worked with, friends or just business relations that I guess BS, and they take their time, or they don't really value their time as much. Me, I went in there and wrote it because me and him are splitting the hook half and half, and it's going to be kind of a, not, I wouldn't say motivational, but it's gonna be like a fun active song, something kind of, we're having a good time, trying to chill, but nothing too out there. So me and him split the bars. 4 and 4 on the hook, and then I put a 16 down for him on the in the middle of the song. So I'll leave it at that because it's going to be his track, so I'll let him kind of discuss the rest of the details later on.
Well, I'll definitely be in contact with him later to get a date when that drops. Can't wait to hear that one.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I don't even know what we're gonna call it yet, or if he's decided on a name. But yeah, we just say, hey, let's both kind of go for the hook, and then we'll see where we go from there. We both wrote our own version of the hook and decided what we wanted to do with that.
Yeah, and I know what you were saying earlier about with collaborations with certain people and how when I do my tracks, like I don't want them back quickly, but I have like a vision with my collaboration album, and how some people, they'll tell you they'll do it over and over and over. They take their time, and then I found now you find the perfect. Like I got 10 other artists on this album I'm about to drop, and they were all back with the track so quickly. And JP the Pompaphilian was one of them. He was just right on it, send me the stems, and he wasted no time. He was a great guy to work with, man. So you're gonna enjoy that track when it's done.
Heck yeah, man. I definitely look forward to it. And that's kind of, I guess, working with other people. I mean, to me, I value the experience. And I mean, if it's going to take you a little while, that's okay. I mean, just for me, I think everyone sees things differently. They value their time differently. So, but if someone's going to tell me, hey, we're going to have that into you, man. I got it ready. It's gonna be in tomorrow, and then it's a month later, and you've told me that 6 times. I say I'd just rather do it myself or find someone that wants to vibe with it.
Yeah, exactly. And go through this group, especially when they started with the BringTheBars. A lot of them are great people to work with. They hop on it right away. Every single one that's on the collaboration album on this thing. So a lot of great connections to have there. But going through your music, a lot of it on YouTube, you have a lot of videos to your music. Do you have a certain person that films them and edits for you, or do you hire out differently depending on the video?
You know what? One of the things I've kind of done with this, because I've released 2 videos. One of them is actually 2 songs and kind of similar but different vibes
Yeah,
and themes, called "Rolling Around" and then "Keep My Name Out Your Mouth," which is something I collabed on with the local artist. They got Greenhouse Records. His name's Lonely. Man, great lyricist. He's a little bit different, a little more hardcore, kind of on the trap side. But man, that dude has an amazing flow, and his lyrics are very well thought out. Nothing cookie cutter about it. But I mean, as far as the videos go, I've shot 4 now, and I've got 2 more that I'm going to shoot here soon. And the first one that shot that double one is one of my buddies, Fabian Navarro with Diamonds Rising, and he's amazing, man. He can do a lot. I mean, his edits are crazy, and his camera work is really nice. And then that second one that I dropped about 4 days ago, called "Sinking Ships," was just basically
yeah,
kind of paying homage to a little more of my older life. Whenever I was, I mean, a little bit younger, it was a little more, I mean, kind of rowdy, aggressive type stuff, and I held loyalty to a really high standard. I mean, people that they always talk about they hate snitches, but I mean, loyalty in a whole. It doesn't even have to be in the street life or anything. You just kind of, loyalty is a big thing to me. Telling what you say, keeping your word. If not, I mean, there's always a different level of repercussions. And that one actually was a guy, Seven Kings Art. He owns a tattoo studio here in Odessa, and he shot that. He shot that, and it was actually his second video to ever shoot. So I was like, you know what, man? I said, I'm down to give you a shot, and we kind of just worked together collaboratively on that. And he had some ideas, and we went with that, and we shot at an old abandoned water park called Water Wonderland here in Odessa. It's been abandoned for 15 years and has all sorts of crazy graffiti all over it and crazy
yeah,
banners and things. So it was a hell of an experience, and it was an honor to be able to shoot that with them. Yeah, Greenhouse. I mean, he's been writing music for 20 plus years, and my good friend Trouble Oak with Moneyside Music. I mean, he's one of the guys that, I mean, he keeps his word, and that dude hits the road hard. I mean, he's performed all over the world. Me and him actually went and performed at the Gathering of the Juggalos last year, which was kind of crazy. I've never been a
oh
huge
wow, man, that's crazy.
ICP fan, but yeah, that was an experience I never would have. I mean, I never would have thought I could see myself going to something like that, but it ended up being the best time of my life. I mean, Bone Thugs was there, Tech Nine was there.
Yeah, it's a
I
hell
ended
of
up,
a festival, like you're saying. I'm not the biggest fan of ICP, and everybody perceives it as like it's an ICP thing, but it's a whole festival of such great talent.
oh man, it was insane because I mean, there's 10,000 plus people, and I mean, not everyone was juggalos, but I mean, me and myself, I never really got too much into the juggalo culture, but I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of the people were great, really great people, really nice and welcoming, open. I mean, free spirited type people, and I mean, the lineup there was just, I mean, insane. It wasn't all juggalo music either. I mean, you had such a wide eclectic. I mean, we saw Morris Day and the Times, the group that Prince started back in the day. We
yeah,
were over there grooving to them, and kind of rehab and Ghost Main and Tech Nine and Chris Calico, Bone Thugs. I got to meet Twisted Insane there and actually got a connection from him. Me and my friend Trouble Oak did a song with Twisted Insane, and that dude's
yeah. He's
amazing.
he's great, man. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Twisted Insane.
I've always been a huge horror fan aside from music, and I mean, just his kind of interest in Michael Myers and things. That's my favorite slasher, so it's kind of a cool experience to get to meet him, and then later on, it's kind of like being able to work with one of your idols was really cool.
Yeah. Do you know when that, like, what is that track on your album that you're going to have Twisted Insane on?
Yes, that track's on my album. It's gonna be called Computer Screams. My buddy Trouble made the beat. He did a verse, Twisted did the second verse, and I did the third verse. And it was crazy, man. He sent me all his ad libs, his dubs, he bounced the whole track. He wrote. He got the context of it, wrote it, and everything. Got it back to me within an hour. Everything.
Jeez.
I mean, and it's a crazy verse. I mean, it doesn't lack anything.
Yeah, I really can't wait. You're getting me excited just thinking about that now.
Yeah, I get a little fired up myself and get to talking a little fast, and kind of my heart gets to pumping because it's an exciting thing.
Do you try to match the speed flow of Twisted Insane in that track?
Well, I don't know if I could even if I wanted to try to match. I mean, he's one of the top five fastest rappers in the world. But you know what I did? I felt like as an artist that really picked me up a lot because that was the third verse that I ever wrote, and I'm really proud of it. I feel like it's a good verse, and it's a lot quicker than some of my other stuff that you might have heard online. I mean, some of my stuff, depending on the context. I mean, sometimes I have a little bit of a slow flow that I'm still trying to perfect and get my timing and everything down on. But I feel a lot more comfortable when I speed it up a little bit. I feel that like I can hit the notes, hit the bars a little bit easier, a little bit smoother on the beat. So I think that really helped me progress as a writer and recording was that track right there.
Yeah,
So,
anybody's gonna make you up your game. It's another MC like that, right? So
oh yeah. If I'm gonna, I mean, if we're gonna collaborate on something like that with someone on that level, that's done. I
bring
mean,
your A game.
yeah, it bring millions and millions of views in, and they've been all over the world, worked with some of the best in the world. I mean, I definitely felt like, you know what, if I'm gonna work with him, I definitely gotta step it up, and I can't bring anything half ass.
Yeah. All right. So now actually we're gonna go to the segment called Pick the Bars. So I know
Okay.
you watched previous interviews, so you know what this segment's about. But for everybody listening, it's a segment where I'll name two hip hop artists, and you got to choose which one you prefer. If you like them both, say both. If you can't choose, or if you don't like either, you can say neither.
No doubt,
So,
man. I look forward to it.
so the first one I always start off with everybody is Biggie or Pac.
That's an easy one for me. I really enjoy and respect both of them, but that's definitely Tupac for me. I mean, the California love, the storytelling, all the vibes that he has, man. I'm more of a West Coast guy myself, but I respect the lyricism on the East Coast music. Biggie was amazing, but Pac's catalog is somewhere extensive, and that energy he always brought was just that's what put him over the top for me.
Yeah, I think everybody on this so far. I asked everybody that question, and they all lean towards Pac on that one.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, like I said, I respect them both, but like Biggie was amazing. I wish we could have seen a lot more from him, but I got to
Yeah.
go with Pac.
All right, now Tech Nine or Eminem.
You know what? And I started out listening to Eminem, and Eminem, I mean, say he's one of my favorite rappers. I mean, he's got some really hard stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm going Take Nine on that one. I mean, Strange Music's my favorite overall label, and
Same
and
here. That was actually going to be one of the questions I was going to bring up with you. I think that
oh
Strange Music
yeah,
is one of the best labels out there for sure.
bro, yeah. I've seen Take Nine live 3 times. I've seen him up in Austin, Texas.
I've seen him once. I want to go again after this whole quarantine stuff blows over here.
Yeah, his energy. I mean, I've been to probably hundreds of different concerts of different genres, from R&B to heavy metal to country to rap. I mean, a little bit of everything. But Tech Nine, he brings an energy that's unmatched.
And this one here, I have a feeling I know who you're going to pick, but I picked two speed rappers with Twista or Twisted Insane.
You know what, that one. I mean, considering I've worked with them, I mean that's actually a hard one for me to pick right there because I grew up on Twista. Twista actually comes and performs at the Lowrider show down the street from my house at the Ector County Coliseum. Like he's been here I think 3 or 4 times, and he made some of the smoothest music I ever. I used to listen to Twister a lot. I mean, big Chicago style. The slow jams was kind of one of my favorite songs, and
Yeah.
it's Sunshine that he did. I mean, that's pretty really good. But I mean, here currently, I definitely go with Twisted Insane. That's been probably him and Rich are some of the people that I listen to on a daily basis and kind of, I mean, can kind of relate to in some of the stuff. But I'll say here currently, I'll go with Twisted Insane. But I mean, it's kind of a toss up for me.
Yeah, that's a tough one because Twista, you think of Twista and Busta Rhymes. I think they were two pioneers of bringing that flow into the more mainstream audience, especially. So
Oh
that's
yeah, they got context behind it too, and I mean, always catch a good vibe with it. So it's great
yeah.
music.
All right, Joe Budden or Royce the 5'9".
Oh man, I actually I didn't listen to a whole lot of Royce the 5'9" until about 3 years ago, but I did. Joe Budden kind of got me back in the day. That was a Pump It Up. That was
Yeah,
one of the songs I used to really get me going when I was a little bit younger, and so I would go Joe Budden on that one. But Royce the 5'9", his lyricism is crazy as well. That dude's dope.
yeah, and he's still going hard at it every day.
Yeah, I got to, whenever I seen Ritz up in Dallas, I got to see speaking of Royce the 5'9", I got to see King Crooked and Horseshoe Gang, and they were really, I mean, they all got a really good solid group.
Yeah,
Wasn't it? I think it was Slaughterhouse that they were all in.
yeah, Slaughterhouse. I wish they would have done a little more, but kind of all.
Yeah, that definitely had some potential right there to be crazy.
Yeah, and 50 Cent or the Game.
Uh, yeah, believe it or not, I mean, I still listen to a lot of them both all the time, and I
Oh
mean,
yeah, same.
the game. I mean, you hear what people say. I mean, a lot of them kind of claim, okay, well, he's just kind of going off. I mean, just people write stuff for him, or he does this and that. But man, his energy and his charisma and everything else. I mean, his bars are dope. I mean, whether they're all authentic and he writes them or not, I mean, I give the game a lot of respect. And 50 Cent, he's got three classics. But I'm actually going to go with the game on that.
Yeah, I would do the same on my part actually, because it'd be hard. I'd do like late '90s, early 2050, but the Game now overall is how I'd pick that one.
Yeah, he's got more longevity. My one of the concerts I always told myself I'd travel anywhere remotely in this country or anyone connected. I'd go see if 50 Cent, Eminem, and Dre did a concert together again. I would be at that no matter when or where it was. But I think I'm gonna go with the game on that.
All right, now hold on. Oh yeah, Snoop Dogg or Lil Wayne?
Snoop Dogg's got some vibes, and I mean I've seen Snoop Dogg in concert a couple times and Lil Wayne, but I'm gonna go with Lil Wayne on that because Lil Wayne, man, he started as a little kid, and that dude he just kind of switched the mold and everything. He kind of changed hip hop a little bit and really kicked it up and kicked it up, and he's still going. I mean, some of his stuff it doesn't compare to the early Carter albums, but I'm looking forward to that No Ceilings 3 he's about to drop. So yeah, I'm gonna go with
Yeah, he
Lil Wayne
pretty
with
much
the
was
longevity.
hip hop between like 2004 to 2010. There was nobody. You only heard Lil Wayne all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was pretty exciting. He had his own little style. I mean, he basically was like I mean, 20 steps above a jump in what you'd call like some of the younger generation now with the crazy tattoos and just going with that eccentric style. He's the one that paved the way. But I mean, he had the bars to back it up and the lyricism.
And now this is actually, who would you prefer as on a hook? Would you prefer Nate Dogg, or I'd mentioned him earlier, or 50 Cent?
On a hook,
Yeah,
that really decides. It depends on the type of song, man. If it's something funky, that West Coast, even the kind of Bay Area type, that kind of what is it, Long Beach type style, Nate Dogg would be cool, but I go with 50 Cent, man. 50 Cent's one of my favorite MCs ever, especially get that in your face hardcore, real confident style. I'd go with 50 Cent on a hook.
and the last one I have here is actually a couple of groups. So I'll go with D12 or G Unit.
I'll go with G Unit on that one. I like some D12. I mean, that fight music, that's one of the things. If you want to get pumped up, if you feel like wrecking shop or doing something crazy, because I mean, I used to fight MMA, so I actually used to listen to fight music in my headphones before I was warming up and getting ready to walk to the cage, just kind of get that mentality going. But G Unit as a whole, man, that was a group that I wish would have never dispersed. I mean, Young Buck,
They
he's
fell
going
apart.
crazy, and they fell apart hard. I mean,
Yeah,
and my buddy Trouble actually brought Young Buck. He came down to Hobbs one time with Snooty Wild, and they performed over here at a little local place in Hobbs, New Mexico, a little small town. But yeah, G Unit had it popping, especially when the game was there with 50 Cent and
yeah,
Tony Yayo, Lloyd Banks. That was could have been one of the best groups ever if they would have been able to have some continuity.
yeah. So I named like quite a few names there in the last one. Is there anybody that I missed out who were big influences in hip hop for you?
Well, I mean, like I said, Bone Thugs. I mean, that's going to be my all-time favorite group. I mean,
Yeah,
that style is so smooth and everything. Rich is one of the huge influences to me as far as writing goes. And then I actually listen to a lot of kind of coastal like reggae hip hop type music right there. I mean, Revolution, and a lot of the Marleys, man. I listen to a lot of Damian Marley and Kaimon Marley. I've taken a trip to Jamaica and got to see some of their houses up there, and that's a
Yeah,
big
I've
that
been to
kind of
before too. A lot of fun up there.
heck yeah, man. There's a lot of cool things. It's crazy. It's real spread out and different culture, but man, it's amazing. It's a good time, and I think the older I get, some of that kind of coastal music, like we went and saw Tribal Seeds before. They're kind of Tribal Seeds, New Kingston. They're a family group from Brooklyn, a reggae inspired reggae hip hop music, and that's I actually listen to a lot of that, and it inspires me just to kind of keep that more of a calm, cool, collected vibe, a cool head in life in general.
Yeah, with hip hop especially, I find you hear a lot of genre crossovers with the music. Like you think Snoop Dogg went with a reggae album for a bit. Beastie Boys kind of with the classic rock and roll. Tech Nine hopping in the heavy metal. Yellow Wolf with country music. Would you ever consider a crossover into a different genre, or like do you take a heavy influence of other genres into your music, or would you just totally cross over and try something different?
You know what? And yeah, speaking of that, I left one out. Yeah, Jelly Roll is a huge influence to me, especially because I
Yeah,
used to, as far as crossing over in music, man, he kind of brought that whole country, rugged, kind of trashy almost vibe with mixed with hip hop. With the kind of he used to be the freestyle, the spit the bars, hit the freestyle, the more trap stuff.
kind
And
of a
now,
funny guy. Just what I've seen of clips with him on interviews and stuff. He seems like a very down to earth, funny guy.
oh yeah, and I mean it's such a real feel to music that I mean I feel like a lot of hip hop is missing nowadays. It's got that authentic feel. Like now he's switched up because I used to see him when he was more kind of like a thuggish, kind of grimy type guy, and now it's more he's given life experience and kind of speaking on all of his problems and troubles, and he's a big family man. So, but to get back onto the topic, what you're going with, man, I would definitely open. I mean, I took that theory from Tech Nine, which took his theory and his structure of his independent label from the Beatles. I mean, it's always. I mean, I feel like you can always make the best music whenever you don't put any limits on it. I'd be more than happy to collaborate with anyone. I mean, we actually try to incorporate some guitars and some stuff that we're going to work on in the future. Some bass solos, some acoustic guitars. I mean, I'm down to mix stuff with country, with hip hop and rock, and like Take Nine did with like Corey Taylor from Slipknot, and he's done some stuff
Yeah,
with System of a Down, which is one of my favorite bands with Serge Tankian. And so yeah, I'd definitely be open to. I mean, if the right thing lined up for the right track, man, I'd definitely be open to crossing genres.
yeah. The track he did with the System of a Down singer straight out the gate was that song was incredible.
Oh man, yeah, that video matched the thing with all the fire and everything is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember them talking about it too. And Tech Nine was saying even like Serge got to him because he's like, this guy's crazy because in his hook when he's holding guns while reading Bibles. And Serge wanted it to be holding guns while burning Bibles, and Tech Nine had to step in and be like, "We're not going to go that crazy on this one."
Yeah, so sometimes you might want to limit your creativity a little bit, at least if you want to appeal to a wide range of people.
Yeah, and you were mentioning earlier you did the Gathering of the Juggalos live show, and I don't know how the whole social distancing or quarantines at where you're at right now, but do you plan any more live shows in the future that you have lined up, or are you planning to do?
We actually have a couple, and they're kind of tentative for me because I mean I work a full time job, and kind of I was telling you the other day, I'm working on this pipeline job right now, just kind of helping out doing some norm surveying. I work for an environmental company, so we're kind of hit or miss on this particular project that it's about a month or two long, but we have there's something here in Midland, Texas, right outside of Odessa called Boosta Fest, and I mean, Busta was a big local influence or whatever, so they're having a kind of he died I think a handful of years back, and they're having that kind of remembrance, the first annual concert they're having here. They're trying to set it up, social distancing and whatnot, and trying to
Yeah.
just make it work. So it's possible I might go up there and just help my buddy Trouble Oak. He's gonna be performing for sure on it, so I might go up there and just kind of rock the stage with him a little bit, and maybe perform one or two if I get the chance, and then
Do a couple of the feature tracks kind of thing.
yeah, we got 5 or 6 tracks together, so I mean, you never know. We might throw that track we did with Twisted Insane on there and rock the stage to it because it goes pretty hard, and then do that. And then there's another thing we got called Desert Freaks. That my homie Dope Dylan, shout out Dope Dylan. He's this will be the third annual Desert Freaks. It's out actually out in the middle of nowhere outside, and there's going to be 15 plus local artists from about 10 different cities that are actually going to be rocking the stage out there. It's a 12-hour thing. I mean, family friendly barbecue, like outdoors type thing. It's going to be. I look forward to that on October 3rd. So I mean, as long as I'm working conflicting, I'll be rocking that stage.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun one to do, especially with local artists outside, everybody. Like you said, the barbecue, those are fun ones to do.
Yeah, I think they usually draw a couple hundred people. I mean, it's a fun little thing. So I mean, it'd be a good experience, and yeah, just get that energy up.
Yeah, I could tell from talking to you now, and even before we even got on this podcast, just your love of the hip hop culture, the way you even act in the groups that you're in to make connections. You listen around to other underground talent. What kind of, since you started, like where do you want this to end up? What kind of legacy or stamp on the hip hop culture do you want to leave in this game?
You know what? I mean, to me, I make music for my own personal liking. I mean, of course, I want everyone to listen. I want everyone to tune in.
Yeah.
I think kind of want to make it to where I get the chance to kind of rock the stage with some of my idols, some of these bigger acts, some of the people that I respect that kind of leave a legacy on that. And I want something to, I want a real diverse portfolio because I'm a big fan of just really not putting limits on your music. Some of my music's kind of, I mean, the language or the context might be a little rough for some people, but yeah, I want to leave a legacy with. I mean, it's something I've experienced. If I'm gonna write something on there, it's something I've experienced one way or another, where I've directly done it, or I've been around, grew up around it and stuff. So I mean, I want it to be authentic, and I want to kind of bring back that authentic feel of '90s, early 2000s hip hop, where you're actually saying something, you're telling the story, you're kind of and you're inspiring people, whether it's, I mean, kind of in growth or kind of showing growth. And that's why on my albums, Father Time, I'm going to have a past and present. The past is more of a kind of a darker, more aggressive outlook. And then present's more of a kind of a feel good kind of, you can barbecue with your friends, turn up the music. I mean, catch a good vibe. And some of the songs are more like I'm trying to mold a little bit more as I get more familiar and make music, kind of make some more inspirational stuff, some kind of stuff to kind of teach my kids and teach other people that there's always a better way, something better to do.
Yeah, man,
But yeah,
that's creative too. I like your idea with the past and present. That's really creative.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it kind of came along because the more we went through those, like making music, I told him, okay, I'm gonna make one song, and then one song turned to two, and then two, I'm gonna do an 8 song album, and then 8 turned to 23, and I was like, you know what? As I got halfway through it, I started getting, because I get beats from, I mean, a handful of different people locally and kind of regionally, some people that I respect and I really see their grind and what they're working on. I try to kind of share the love and kind of spread it around and catch different vibes from different producers as well. So it kind of just took me that direction.
What for making this album? What has been your like biggest struggle of it all? What was the biggest thing you had to overcome, or just the biggest struggle of it all?
The biggest struggle was just kind of just learning how to format everything, and it kind of I'm lucky to have two. I mean, with Trouble Oak and A-Track, they know a lot and they've been around it for so long. They've taught me a lot of things, and so it helped me kind of progress quicker than some other people. And whenever I dig into things, I'm real, like I said earlier, I'm real competitive. So I focus on my mistakes and I really hone on it. So sometimes that's kind of makes it hard. I mean, I'm probably my biggest critic, and that's why I always ask people. I want your honest feedback, what it is, because I know I can do something better. So, but I mean, the biggest thing was just kind of getting in the booth and being able to do it like I'd spit it at home, like getting in there and being able to get that same vibe and kind of it feels like sometimes like the walls are closing in on you and you kind of get a little more, for whatever reason, get a little more nervous, get a little more timid, get a little more anxious and stuff. So I think to me, it took me about 7, 8 songs before I kind of okay, I need to be in the right head frame and I need to kind of really relax and just let my true feelings go instead of being nervous what other people think.
Yeah, and be yourself on it is the most important thing for any song, I find.
Most definitely.
So actually, looking at the time, we're gonna have to wrap this up soon, but not before I do one last segment with you called "Name Your Bars."
All
So
right.
this is the last segment of the show for everybody listening. If you haven't heard it before, I will name a bar or two from one of your tracks, and you just tell me if you know where these tracks, what bars these tracks are from.
Okay, sounds good.
So
Let's see
far,
what
we
we got.
actually only had one guest get perfect on it, and that was JP. So,
I hope I can match them because I've gone over my songs a lot of times, so we'll see if I can get them to go.
all right, first one here is Turn up the speakers and feel the vibe. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't let it slide.
Is that one? That one's off of Swerving, isn't it?
That one is Rolling Around.
Oh shoot! That was actually the second song I ever recorded over there. That's one of the video that I got now. Okay.
All right, second one here is Pedal to the Metal, Dig Within, Never Letting Off, Same Wild Grin.
That's off that new song I did with Riddy K and Touch. Bet on Me.
Yeah, I'll be running that too at the end of this podcast for the radio edit. That was a great song, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, those guys are super talented. I was blessed that they were willing to work on me, and my buddy Nick made the beat to that. It was actually off kind of a custom reference to the Ritz White Rapper beat off of there. That Smoke to the Ceilings beats made that one. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a good one. All right, number 3. So 1-1 for you. Number 3 is Bass Steady Thumping. Just get out of your slump then. Standing real tall. That blood's really pumping.
Can you say that one more time?
Bass Steady Thumping. Just get out of your slump then. Standing real tall. That blood's really pumping.
Oh man, I think that's is that Enjoy the Night.
That one is Chilling and Vibing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was something I wrote a little while back and hadn't really touched on that one in a while.
I try to go through deep catalog to really get the people on their lyrics. I would never be able to get 5 for 5 out of mine, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, that's crazy. I guess especially riding so much. I mean, they kind of hearing them without a beat is kind of hard to match them up sometimes.
Bars that are picked up mid track and stuff, it's hard to do. Especially, it'd be easier if you started with the 2 original bars that start the track. Yeah. That always gets you going, where you start remembering the track afterwards. All right, we got the fourth one here, and it's Ruin Your Whole Life. All that's left is a smolder, like the king of the jungle, but a little bit colder.
Oh yeah, that one's Keep My Name Out Your Mouth. The one I did with Greenhouse with Angel. Yeah, I remember that one. We shot the video to that one. That one was one of the first ones that I kind of went on that more of a dark, heavy style from my old past.
Yeah, you have that on the double video, like the second track, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that keep My Name Out Your Mouth. That's on that Rolling Around and keep My Name Out Your Mouth video that Fabian shot.
Yeah, that was a good. Both of those are great too. And last one here is, I just want to see my people win. None of us perfect. We all live in sin.
Oh man, yeah, that one right there is off of the Something Better. I've actually got a remix to that song. One of them is Something Better with one of my friends, 1215 Smooth, Jemiah, and the remix. I mean, I think if you've heard that one, I know I sent you that one. That one's pretty. That was the first more kind of like an R&B hip hop type vibe and more inspirational type song. That I'm actually shooting a video to that one with True Vision Media, which is Taj Jahaj. He's on the track. He's on that first verse and some of the ad libs behind the hook, and then 1215 Smooth.
Yeah, that was a great one too. And all 5 of those songs I mentioned, all great, man. Really want to thank you for coming on this. It was fun talking to you, and definitely keep me up to date with anything new you release. I'm getting really excited for that Father Time album, so definitely keep me up to date on that one.
I appreciate it, bud, man. Thanks for having me, and thanks for the support, and look forward to seeing what you guys got going on later on.
Perfect. Thanks again, man, and have a good one.
Yes, sir. Have a good day. Take it easy. Bye.